So I'm excited to see this one.
Hi guys, can you hear us? I am Monica Aiello and this is my husband.
Tyler Aiello, how is everybody today?
Doing great.
We are so thrilled to join you. We are based in Denver, Colorado in the United States. And GIFT is one of our favorite online events. So we are very, very honored to participate this year. Tyler and I are both artists and teachers and the co-founder of a group called EUREKUS. And for over 20 years, we've designed hands-on learning experiences with folks like NASA, schools, and museums, both in the US and abroad. And a big part of what we do is actually help folks with the physical act of making and innovation and prototyping. So we thought it would be really fun to kick things off with a live maker activity. So today we are going to be crafting some homemade fidget spinners. And we're also going to be sharing a bit about one of our key concepts, which is called scratch making. And basically, scratch making is being able to do meaningful invention and design and engineering using just the stuff around you. And this kind of evolved because when we were working with NASA many years ago, they gave us a challenge. They said, we need to design programs for all people, all ages, and all spaces across the world. And so Tyler and I started visiting classrooms and looking at what folks may have around their house and coming up with this kind of vocabulary of how you can combine just basic stuff to create real working, moving, kinetic, mechanical inventions that have a lot of opportunity for artistic and creative inquiry in them. So how we're going to do today is I'm going to focus on the making part. We're going to turn our overhead camera, and then Tyler's going to be in the captain's chair, and he's going to make sure, hopefully, all the technology goes great. And I know that Julie and Jake sent out an email, so if you've collected supplies, please feel free to make along with us. If you don't have things ready, enjoy watching, and at the end of the presentation, we'll take you to our website where you can find a bunch of free resources with video tutorials and more information about scratch making so you can continue the investigation and fun along the way. And as a note, we found that this program is really exciting for students. I know we have a lot of young innovators out there. Hopefully this will help you with your own design and prototyping activities, but these are also really great programs and resources if you're an educator out there. You ready? Okay, so we're gonna turn our camera over. And if you guys could give us a thumbs up, can you see my desktop? Can you see? Awesome. Okay, great. So when we're designing programs, we want to go beyond just like gluing or taping things together. We're really interested in making things that actually work and parallel real concepts in engineering and physical science. So we've developed this kind of vocabulary of how different basic materials can equate to real engineering concepts. So today we're going to be making fidget spinners. And these are really fun. They look simple, but they're not as simple as they look. Contraptions that we're just using basic stuff to make, but at the same time, we're exploring important engineering concepts. So we have a wheel and axle system. We're also working with things like bearings to help our contraption move smoothly. And we're going to be exploring some concepts in math and physical science because these things are built so they work with kind of like a gyroscope. And so weight and balance and symmetry are all really important concepts. So I have some samples here, and you can see we're just using basic stuff. Like this one has a cardboard wheel. These are just soda pop tops. We've got little baby clothespins, beads, straws. This one has binder clips, buttons, brads. I even have some toothpicks and beads in here to add some additional weight. So we want to encourage you guys to think about how you can use the things around you to do meaningful invention. And we find that this gives students and teachers a wonderful framework to understand how things are really built, move, and work, and develop something we like to call engineering literacy. So I'm going to pull out some of the items that we're going to need to make today. I like to think about this project kind of in two parts. The first thing we're going to be doing is making a wheel, an axle, and bearing system. This forms the basis, or in sculpture, we like to call it our armature, to then add just basic parts and stuff to create our designs and add weight and symmetry and balance. So we're going to start by creating this wheel and axle system. For that, and I know we sent out a list of materials, hopefully you guys got that information. You're going to want basically just a stick, and we love bamboo skewers, a cooking device, and I'm sure there's equivalents all over the world for a basic stick. We also want to have some sort of straw, which is going to create a bearing. The important part is that your straw actually fits on your stick, and this is going to create a cylinder in which your axle can move. And then you're also going to want a bead, and the beads function as bearings, and they need to be able to fit onto your skewer. Okay. You're also going to want some sort of circular device that's going to form a base wheel right here. Some of the things that we like to use are simply cutting out cardboard circles. You can also take things like cereal boxes or food boxes, anything with a hard paper, and create circles. And then on our website, which we'll take you to, we also have just a template that you can print onto a heavy paper and make circles that way. These circles are going to be your wheel. So to start out with, and this is a wonderful project to add some math and measurement, we're going to need to cut our skewer. And I have pretty small hands, so you want these to be able to spin within your grip. And so I recommend cutting our skewers or our sticks at about 2 inches. And to cut skewers or sticks, it's hard to use scissors. So we use a device like this, which is a cut-all scissor. You can also use pruning shears, even big wire cutters. If you're a kid, you might want some adult supervision with this, but I'm going to cut my stick at 2 inches. And then I need this is going to be my axle. Then I need a bearing. We always say wheels and axles might be a simple machine, but they have a best friend called a bearing, and that helps them move smoothly. So I'm going to cut my axle down at 1 inch, so I have some space. Now, when you cut straws, what happens a lot is they squish, and that can create friction in your system. And so what we like to do is something we call reaming. You can simply take a pencil, stick it inside, spin it around, and make sure your straw is nice and cylindrical so that it can fit on your axle and spin without friction. Okay. Now I'm going to need to create a wheel. And again, I said there's some variety of things. I'm going to show you how you can do it a couple different ways. If you're using thick paper or one of our templates and you have a hole punch, you can simply just poke a hole in the center of your wheel. Now, I know not everybody has tools, especially if you're making like at home or at your kitchen table. And so another great strategy you can use for making holes in wheels is you can take a needle or a thumbtack, really anything sharp, poke a base hole. Then you can use different pointed items to make your hole bigger. So I'm going to stick the point of my skewer in. Again, I'm going to be doing this thing called reaming. That made it a little bigger. Now I'm going to put my pencil in, squish that down. I'm going to do it from both sides to make my hole even bigger to see if I can get my straw in. Okay, so that's some different techniques you can use depending on where you are in the world and what materials or tools you may have at your disposal. Part of our scratch making theory is that really, if we're being creative and ingenious, we can use almost anything around us as tools and materials to create real working kinetic devices. So I just put some hot glue around this. The most important thing is that you want your wheel to be straight and perpendicular with your bearing. Okay, straight and perpendicular. Now, if you don't have hot glue, this project can be done with any kind of other glue. You're just going to need some drying time. So that's that part. Now I'm going to go to my axle. And my axle is going to go in here and spin, but I need something on the ends here to prevent it from sliding off. We love to use beads, but we've also worked with folks that have used tiny binder clips or even some like little clay or something at the end. So there's also other options. The main thing that is really important on this is you don't want to get any glue on your stick because that's going to stick and cause friction inside your system. So we have a nice little trick that we use, which is gluing between beads. These beads are bearings, but they also function as a way to isolate your glue so you don't get friction in your system. So I like to put a little glue on my stick and isolate my glue between my beads. That way, I don't get any glue on my axle right here to create friction in my system. Again, you can use other types of glue or material. You just may have to wait for drying time. I'm going to stick that axle through. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. A lot of times when folks are doing this, they add glue right here and then they get friction and stick their axle to their bearing. So we're going to use that same technique where we're going to use an isolation, or what I like to call a free bead. Then we're going to place glue on the outside of that bead. And we're going to add another bead. And I'm hoping you can see this, but I always like to leave a little space between the straw and the beads so that you get this really great spinning motion. So this is my base. This is like my armature. This is my wheel, axle, and bearing system. And this kind of system can be used for all types of inventions. You can make racers. We use the same thing to make kaleidoscopes. We use the same system to work on automata. So if you're inventing and you're prototyping and you need a wheel and axle, remember to use the straw as your bearing, and you can explore different ways you can make kinetic moving machines just with these simple materials. So now it is time to create cute artistic elements in the physical science. You'll notice when we spin this, it spins a little, but it stops. This one has weight and balance, and when it spins, you can feel when you're making how much better it spins and feels in the hands because it has this weight to create this motion that's kind of like a gyroscope. So this is the fun part, and you should see our studio. We collect everything, every type of junk or item you can imagine. We like to collect to work with. So when we're in class, we save all of our wooden and spare parts. We also have things like bottle caps and binder clips. We have little lids, paper clips. We love reading any kind of office drawer or junk drawer to find items. And if you're a teacher, I do this for class. So I have all my materials right here for kids to explore. I'm going to start with some sticks so I can show you how maybe you might want to be able to cut these. So I'm just grabbing some spare parts, and some of them are the same length and I think will work well. Others are a little longer. So you don't always have to have a ruler to do things. Like for this stick, I want to cut it down. And so I'm placing a stick that I like on top, and I'm making a little mark, and that's going to, I use this one so I can show them. That's going to give me a good measurement. And this time I'm just using some big wire cutters. These are pretty safe. And we do teach kids how to use tools at a really young age safely. And it empowers them so much with their invention and design. Also really helps with motor skills. We find these types of investigations are just really great to build not just academic learning, but also their social and emotional skills, from collaborating to problem solving, taking risks, and just building that sense of confidence. So how many do I have here? I think I have quite a bit. So the key of this is you want symmetry and balance. So anything you do on one side, you're going to do on the other side. You're also going to flip it and do it on the back side. So I'm going to add one green stick here. So you can see, I'm going to add another green stick on that side. So it's directly across. And I'm making just kind of a cross shape. I'm going to add another one and another one. And when I spin this, I can already sense that my weight is getting better. So whatever I do on the top, I'm going to want to do on the bottom. I think I need 2 more sticks. I think I'm good. Again, if you don't have hot glue, you can use a crafting glue. You can use glue dots. You can use a stick glue. You're just going to have to make sure and wait for your drying time. And the other thing we love about this is that when people are making from scratch, no 2 projects are the same. This gives you infinite opportunities to come up with your own inquiry and your own creative approach. It also really activates the design process because you're going to encounter problems, which are good, and failure is good because that's the way that we learn and we can create solutions together. So this is already feeling really, really good to me. Now, these sticks adhere really, really well to any other glue or paper because they're wood. But we like to use a lot of things that are like metal, and metal or plastic does not necessarily stick to the hot glue really well. So I think I'm going to add some of I love these soda pop tops. They also create really fun flashes when they spin. So you're going to want to have something that's kind of porous that you can use to secure it. So pom-pom balls are a great option. If you don't have pom-pom balls, you can use paper. You can use any kind of fabric. We've even used cotton balls. So anything that's porous will help your glue adhere. So I'm going to add, again, glue. I'm going to add my metal piece. I'm going to put a little bit more glue on it. And then I'm going to stick something that's porous on to secure my glue. And this way my piece won't pop off. Even paper straws have wax on them, and so they will pop off. So we always recommend securing with paper or some other porous device to make your invention stronger. And this is really about materials engineering. You know, and it's funny when we work with our NASA folks, when they start a mission, they actually sit down at a table with a bunch of supplies like this, cups, straws, basic items, and they start envisioning what their mission is going to look like by creating a basic scratch making type of prototype. So this actually has a lot of real world applications as well. So I've added my metal pieces here. And again, I did it across for symmetry. Now I'm going to flip it and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Weight, symmetry, and balance are all important concepts to getting good motion. Okay. And I know I might be going a little fast for some of our participants because we have not all the time in the world, but no worries because we have video tutorials on our website. Julie and Jake have also sent out links to a special page we made for just you guys. Okay. So that feels really good. So here is a completed fidget spinner. And kids have been so creative with this. They've added elements like straws that go up and created more three-dimensional forms. We've also done this with middle schoolers, and they've added LED lights, which is a really fun design challenge because they needed to do it where their wires would not get stuck in the spinning motion. So we love the scratch making concept because it's really about fostering your own personal ingenuity and original thinking to create designs. We also love projects like this because it really fosters play-based learning. And so you have fun not just creating your invention or innovation, but also being able to share it and continue exploring. And if you're doing this in class, it's always fun for kids to make kind of a base invention and then take what they've learned to create other things and scaffold up the learning. So for instance, I'm going to show you another invention that's based off of very similar concepts. So here is one of our rubber band racers, which takes the learning to even a deeper challenge, but we're using the same concepts of scratch making. For our wheels here, we are using our straws as our bearings. We're using our sticks as our axles. We're using beads as bearing and support. For this front wheel, we actually did a 3D printing challenge so that kids could design their own wheels. Our body is just made with sticks. And then for our back wheels, we're using, if you know what these are, old-fashioned CDs. And we just collect CDs and they create wonderful movement. They're also larger than the front wheel, so they really drive that motion. And then for our propulsion system, these are zip ties that we collect from our trash bags. And then we're just using a rubber band here to create our energy and our propulsion system. And I don't have a big space, but you can see how that thing drives. So this is like a reimagining of an old-fashioned mousetrap car, but again, just really using the things that you have around you to go from something like this, which is more of a simple machine, to an invention like this, which is combining simple machines to create more complex inventions. Wanted to show you just a couple others. So this one is done with lids, And the diameter of our lids was really too big to get 4 pieces on it. So we did it as 3. What's fun about this design too is we needed a larger armature to hold the lid. And so you can really explore how the different pieces of your systems, your simple machine systems, need to be constructed to hold the devices that you're using for your design and weight and balance. Again, this one, when I was working on it, has buttons. I didn't feel like I was getting enough weight. And so I discovered that these little binder clips have space. So I added a toothpick and beads with hot glue, which helped to increase my weight. So we find it interesting, you know, artists, designers, inventors, engineers, we kind of all follow a similar process of asking questions, creating and ideating, testing, evaluating, and revising. And so these types of projects allow a lot of room for that kind of inquiry and doing it in really collaborative ways, whether you're working with maybe a sibling or parent at your kitchen table or doing these types of things in the classroom. So do you want to? Okay, so I know we had to go quickly through that. Hopefully you got some things created or you had a fun time watching. We are going to take you to our website where we have free resources for you to continue to make fidget spinners, as well as dig deeper if you want into these concepts of scratch making and the vocabulary that we've developed with our scientists and engineer friends. So we are going to take you over to,
I've got to share.
I think you've got to share. Here's your share screen. There it is. Okay. Get that. Can you share our website? Yes.
We can't,
Okay.
we can't hear the music that goes along with it. You may need to stop sharing and reshare, and there's a little button to click that says share computer audio.
Oh, I don't think we need the music.
Okay.
That's just on the homepage, but thank you. Can I have the, so you wouldn't believe this film station we have around us with all the technology. So if you go to our website, I just need a rolling mouse. It's not scrolling.
You've got to
Oh,
get it back to the
Okay. If you go to our website, we put it this morning really easy for you to find. So if you go under our resources, you'll see a tab that says free resources. And we have 2 things that we'd like to highlight. First is our fidget spinners page right here, which will give you more information and video tutorials to continue making. We also have a website called Scratch Making, which goes more in depth about how you can make different machines with basic stuff. So if you go to the fidget spinners page, has kind of just an intro, but here's an important section, especially if you are a teacher out there. We have supply and tool planners. We have places you can order links. We have a printed instructions called a quick start guide, as well as those wheel templates that you can print if you want to use those. If you're in the States, we have this program aligned to Common Core and Next Gen Science standards. And then we always like to keep stories about how folks are using this program. So if you're doing something in a creative way, let us know so we can collect our stories to help share with other educators. And then right here, you will have video tutorials. They're similar to what we did today, but more in depth that you can watch. So if you only got a portion of your fidget spinner made today, check those out and you can finish up. We also have really simple slideshow instructions. If you're a teacher, these are really great to project in a classroom if you have like a Promethean board or video projector so that you can make in class. So there's a lot of resources here, whether we believe you can make anywhere. So make at home, make with friends. These are also fun to do for parties and events. We've had a lot of folks use them for birthday parties. But we also want to make sure that teachers get this knowledge and increase their own engineering and design skills. Finally, if you go back to the free resources, I'm going to take you to the scratch making page. So right here, we go in deeper to what scratch making is all about. We have some presentations right here that go into some of our favorite materials and how those can equate to engineering with simple and complex machines. We have also broken this down into how you can make wheels and axles, how you can make bushings and bearings, going to levers and things of that nature. We have sample projects here, including a lot of other free programs that you can use to dig deeper into how you can really do meaningful engineering work just using the resources that are readily available and around. I think that's kind of it for what we wanted to share. Okay,
Wonderful,
back
Monica.
to the main and then come join us. So hopefully we have time for some questions or comments.
Yes, yes. Actually, we have a question from our friends from YouTube. And this is the question. It says, have you ever thought about making a scratch making contest at innovation and invention events?
Whoa, that's a great idea. That's an absolutely brilliant idea. We'll have to chat with Julie and Jake about doing something along those lines. We haven't, but that would be, we've done some contests with our NASA work, but those have really been hosted by the NASA folks. But yeah, I love that.
I will be really, really fun to have you in this kind of event. I just want to congratulate you for these 20 years of fun work, because what I see is a really, really fun amount of activities, you know. So it is an excellent way to introduce kids to designing and construction, you know, so they can have a lot of skills. So congratulations, excellent work. It was really, really, really fun to watch these two projects.
Lovely. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Another question for you guys. I know you went through on the website with all of the different things. How many independent learners, if you have people who are around the globe who are having to do this by themselves, how easy is it for them to be able, I mean, watching through the tutorial was great, but how easy is it for people just to get started?
The feedback we've had has been really wonderful because on each of our projects, we've created those maker videos, and it's literally my hands making, and we've chunked it out for each stage. So you don't have to absorb like an hour-long tutorial. It's chunked out in different phases, like 4 or 5 minutes per phase, which is both to make it digestible for at-home learners, but also if a teacher is doing this, they can literally schedule their class in each of those chunked out phases. So we've had really wonderful results. We work with teachers all over the globe. We even have a teacher from Morocco that comes in every summer to work with us, and she helps us really make sure that these things are accessible to other countries, other learners. One of our big goals with her is to start trying to do translations of our materials. But that being said, I think that one of the beauties of this type of work is that we always say your hands teach you how to be an engineer. I think you can watch and get a lot from just the watching process. And we work with a lot of places that we are speaking English, maybe they're speaking a different language, and we still have had really great success just showing hands and how to make and manipulate materials.
Do you have downloadable videos for people who have poor internet bandwidth?
I think most of the videos that we have, I think we have our tag on Vimeo that they are downloadable. I'm not entirely sure, but
We're,
we
we're,
try to do that. And then our new, if we can get it done, our new goal for this year is to start a YouTube channel so that we can actually go through each of these scratch making pieces and have that on YouTube as well.
Just a question. When I was watching your video, there was a closed caption appearing at the bottom on your words. I don't know if you knew that was turned on, but I saw that. The question is, do your videos also have words at the bottom? Because if
In
I was speaking a
English.
different language, it would be very helpful to freeze it and then slowly translate the words.
We have, yeah.
I was gonna say, a lot of what we've tried to do with the videos and even with the photos that we've put on the website is to make it clear enough that you shouldn't even have to be listening or speaking a language.
But they do have words in
But
English.
they do have words. And those are really to keep people focused. And then we'll have to think about that using some of the new translate features and stuff like that that are available now. So that as people are maybe looking at these in different countries, then maybe the simple vocabulary that we are using is accessible to them.
We also have our quick start guide, which is a printed version that is posted as a PDF. And these are pretty good to give you baseline instructions. These are the things too that we're hoping to get translated into. We're working with our visiting teacher who teaches at the Makerspace at the American School in Tangier, and she's trying to get these translated into Arabic and Spanish.
Language is lovely when it's used, but in our experience over 20 years, even when we offer things like our quick start guide here, most people try to do it without reading any instructions. They look at the pictures, they look at a few of the videos. And I will say that that is part of the process too. We have certain ways of doing things, but I always tell our students, there are 1,000 different ways to do any one thing, and what you find eventually is the best way to do it for yourself.
Great. Now, this is going to be a recording that we're going to post, but do you have a screen that you can just show us right now that has how to contact you?
The best way is through the website, www.eurekus.org. There is a contact tab on it, and when you fill that out, it comes to me. So we're
perfect.
a small family company. It's myself, my husband. We're actually 3 generations. We have our parents involved in helping us, as well as our children who are both artists and industrial designers. And so we're a small family group. And we're always available for questions. We love connecting. We're definitely not one of these groups that's going to send you to some like AI chat person. Feel free to reach out to us.
So
Great. That's exactly what I wanted people to see. The
Okay.
URL. Perfect.
And Eurekus is a made-up word. Our son came up with it when he was 12. It stands for Eureka, which is what Archimedes, the ancient Greek mathematician and inventor, used to say, plus us, which symbolizes discovering together. So he wants royalties from that, but I'm not so sure.
It's very good. Does he get a commission on the profits from the company since he came up with a name?
He's getting his college paid for. He's in the industrial design program at MSU, and yeah, he's getting his college paid for. We'll have to negotiate other things.
Very good. Very good.
Well, we want to thank all of you. We think that the work that Innovation World does and global innovation is just tremendous. We also want to thank all of the participants and the amazing young thinkers and change makers out there, as well as their grown-ups and coaches and teachers that help support them along the way. Have a really awesome convention.
Thank you for presenting. It was fantastic. I'm excited to try these out with my kids.
Awesome. Thank you. Let us know if you need any support.
Will do.
I also
I think,
oh,
yeah, go
sorry.
for it.
I also really want to try this out with my siblings. I couldn't do it right now because we didn't have any straws on hand. But yeah, I was first confused looking at the materials, but now after seeing it, I'm just so excited because it looks so cool and so like it's just a really pretty trinket basically. So once we get the straws, I will definitely try this out with my siblings.
Thank you. Thank you. Have fun with it. And we love seeing people, families create and make together. It's such a great way to unite and connect and share and unplug a little bit.
Yeah, this is a great program. Lots of excitement. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for presenting. I'm really excited to try this out.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. It's been such a pleasure. We're excited to see all the other wonderful presentations and work that's going on globally for the next 2 days.